Teen advocates from Boston are calling for action by the state attorney general against a locally based magazine. They say Entertainment failed to come through with more than $100,000 in compensation for articles by its contributors. And to tell us about the story are two peer leaders from the Teens Lead at Work program at MassCOSH, Justin Callero and Manolo Díaz. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
I want to start with Manolo. Talk about how you found out about this problem, whether it was directly from some of the young contributors or from another source.
Well, our executive director, Marcy Gail Goldstein, she came to us in the office and told us about a youth. His name is Richmond. And yeah, he came to us about the situation, saying he didn't get the scholarship money in the program, which was writing articles and trying to write scholastic things too. And so he came to Marcy about it, and then Marcy came to us in the office, and then that's how we heard about it, and then we started working on it from there.
Justin, what was the deal supposed to have been for contributors?
Well, the teens were at first promised to get a scholarship once they graduated high school for writing articles for entertainment. And so they were promised to get a scholarship once they graduated high school, and we found out they weren't once one teen graduated high school and obviously didn't receive the scholarship. And then we found out the other teens as well weren't getting their scholarships once they graduated.
Manolo, how much do you think this set back the students? Did they have some serious problems, you think, because of this money not being available?
Yeah, they were really discouraged, especially in the conference calls we had at the office. A lot of them really wanted their money because they were going to use it. Some of them for cars, for money to pay off school. Yeah, they were really just disappointed about the whole situation.
Now, Justin, I understand that this magazine isn't in operation anymore. I looked at their social media pages. I don't see anything after, I think, maybe going back to June of last year or something like that.
Yeah, so recently there hasn't been anything for entertainment. We haven't heard anything about them. I think the whole organization, you could call it, just completely ended.
I did see something where it seemed that they were trying to raise money for scholarships, maybe.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah. Coming back to Manolo, as far as what you do with information from these contributors, you're both serious about being advocates here. So if someone calls you up on the phone, you get something by word of mouth, I guess you need to take this to another level. You can't just leave it from that, right?
Yeah, most definitely. We would piece it together with the information we had already and see how it fits into the campaign and see if it helps at all.
And coming back to Justin, what did this involve? What did people do next? You hear all these people on the phone and telling you these stories, so I guess you had to check it out in some way.
Well, first, of course, we had to do our research, personally, because we heard all these stories about entertainment. So we did our research. It was hard to find things about entertainment because, like you said, there's not much going on the internet about entertainment. So we did research, and then with help from our youth coordinator and the executive director, we knew that there was going to have to be involved the Attorney General's office and do something so that the teens will get their money back.
Maybe to Manolo, I guess one of the things you might want to look at is emails. I mean, some of these contributors must have sent emails to the magazine to say that they're interested, or to say that maybe they sent something to them as far as a contribution, as far as an article maybe.
The teens?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they definitely sent a lot of things over, and apparently it didn't work out.
The teens communicated a lot through email.
Yeah.
And we had created a complaint form with the Attorney General's office where the teens could complain. So we had a couple teens who were getting our emails who would also try and get contact with other teens that they knew were writing, because it was difficult because they didn't work in an office setting, so they didn't know who else was working with them. So they were working out of their houses or wherever they had a computer to type up for entertainment. So that was definitely a difficult part.
Manolo, I imagine these teens who worked on the articles, they must have spent some time putting them together.
They probably did spend a lot of time, especially when they were assigned. They didn't even meet their boss, so I'm guessing their boss just gave them a prompt and then they wrote a lot, because the scholarships meant a lot to them. Some others no. But yeah, they probably spent a lot of time and effort on them. To find out that they didn't get the money at the end of the day must have been devastating.
Justin, do you ever think of what you might hope to get from some action by the Attorney General? Because if this company, let's say they are out of business, I imagine they don't have any money, so it's not like these teen contributors are going to see much compensation. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to be optimistic to hope that the teens would get their money, whether or not they could now, whether or not they graduated college already, could use it towards college, but at least to get their money because they did work for it, so they deserve it. And also I'd like to, maybe with the AGO, just help to show other teens that they have to be more careful when they're accepting jobs, just so that this doesn't happen and teens are taken advantage of.
What about that, Manolo? Any advice for somebody who sees something over the internet, especially from someone they've never met before that looks kind of interesting?
Yeah, well, like teens find jobs like any way possible through like schools, posters, a teacher. So my advice would be just to like research it before, find out any information about it, and see if it looks legit.
And Justin, what would you say that teens should be doing as far as this is concerned?
I think, like Manolo said, just to make sure that they're putting in enough research into the job before they accept it, just so that a situation like this they don't take advantage of. And I think they should really make it important to meet the boss and just to get a face-to-face contact with them.
Well, what about this research and being an advocate? How do you think this helps you with your own future plans? What do you see yourself doing eventually?
Eventually I want to major in criminal justice in college. Yeah. But for the advocacy, I really think it helps like my leadership skills, like shows me like how I can work on a campaign and like even work in general. We do a lot of workshops and shows leadership roles and builds up my confidence to like talk to people, whether it's just one person or a big crowd.
And Justin, what about you? What do you see this doing as far as your future in some way?
Well, like Manolo said, it also has given me a lot of leadership skills, taking command in like situations that other teens probably wouldn't be able to. And so I hope to go into psychology or some type of career around there. So I guess that could help me with just understanding like the mindset behind people who take advantage of teens.
Manolo, I guess there's been one article about this so far, Teens in Print, which is a teen-produced enterprise in collaboration with the Boston Globe. So yeah, I guess you were both, I think, interviewed for that?
Yes, we all were as a group.
Right. Well, thank you very much for being with us, Justin Callero and Manolo Díaz from MassCOSH.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.